what has happened? And we are back again with another mobility series. This time the focus is the lower back. If you don't know who I am, my name is Justin Cutler. I'm the founder of EmpowerInc Coaching, where I specialize in helping 90s kids get their health back with minimal space, equipment, and time. So as with any pain, it is usually referred from somewhere else. When it comes to the lower back, we do need to get the spine moving, the lower back specifically, but sometimes lower back issues come from the thoracic spine, which is basically from your collarbone to your belly button. And a lot of times it comes from the hips, myself included. And so we're going to be doing one spine exercise and 3 hip exercises in a circuit fashion, okay? This is a follow along style video. So I want you to get ready. You're not going to need any equipment for this circuit whatsoever, which is great. That's why I'm doing it in my living room. So here we go. We're going to begin with the segmented cat-cow. Okay, so we're going to try to move one vertebrae of the spine at a time. So we're going to start in a fully flexed position, okay? And then now we're going to begin by just trying to move the tailbone. It's a really small motion and not allowing any other part of the spine to move. Then from there, we want to push the belly button area of your spine to the ground, then push the belly towards the ground, then push the chest towards the ground, shoulders, and then finally the neck. And then we reflex. I like to think of a couple of strips of LED lights going up my back, and we're just lighting up one strip at a time. Okay, so fully flex out, move the tailbone, then the belly button, then the belly area, then the chest, shoulders, finally the neck. Okay? So we're going to do 3 more reps of that. Tailbone, belly button, belly, chest, shoulders, and neck. Back to the flex position. Tailbone, belly, chest, shoulders, and neck. One more. Tailbone, belly button, belly, chest, shoulders, and neck. If that felt clunky, that's okay. It gets smoother with time. Okay, now we're going to be in what's called the 90-90 position. So all that means is one leg is out in front of you and the other leg is kind of behind and to the side of you. You don't need to be in a perfect 90-degree position with each leg for this to be effective. So for some people with kind of tight hips, that might mean the knee is out, the front knee is out to the side and the back knee is up a little bit. If this is a very uncomfortable position for you, what you can do is grab like a couch cushion and put it underneath your hips, because when you're up off the floor, it's a little bit easier, okay? So find your comfortable position. We're going to be doing 2 exercises, one for the front leg, one for the back leg, and then we're going to flip and do the same thing because the back leg will become the front leg. So you get it. So the first thing we're going to do is an external rotation lift off, and that's with the front leg. So you're going to push your hands into the ground. We're going to think about lifting the foot up, extend it out, bring it back, and that's 1 rep. Don't be discouraged if you cannot lift your foot very high or at all. As long as you're able to move, that's okay. So that's 1 rep. We're going to do 5 reps, and this time for the next 4, we're not going to let the foot touch the ground. Okay, so here we go. Lift, extend, bring it back. I'm thinking about driving my ankle up towards the ceiling. You're going to feel this big time in the groin area and the hip flexors. 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Okay, we can let that front leg chill out for a second. Now we're going to do the back leg. So with this one, we're going to drive the knee up towards the sky. As we do that, we're going to scoop your foot underneath. So you'll be in this position, and then we bring it back down. Okay? So we want to squeeze the belly hard because we don't want to see a lot of movement in the spine. We just want to try to isolate the hips. So squeeze the belly. All right, I'm resting one hand on my leg or the floor and the other hand on the floor. It's really whatever's comfortable for you. We're going to drive the knee up, scoop the foot underneath, feel that big time in the hip flexors. And then as we're pushing the back knee towards the floor, we're trying to feel that in the top of the hip. We just touch the floor with the knee and come right back up. Okay, that's 2, and we're going to do 5 repetitions. If you're feeling a little bit of clunkiness in your hips, that's totally okay. Pain-free popping is always okay. It's when it starts to get painful is when it can become a little bit of a concern. 3, 4, 5. I've been sitting for a while prior to recording this, so my hips are feeling kind of clunky. All right, we're going to switch sides. So now your back leg becomes your front leg, and then your front leg becomes your back leg, okay? All right, we're going to start off with the external rotation on the front leg. So again, find your comfortable position in the 90-90 position first. Push your hands to the floor. We're thinking about lifting the ankle up the entire time. We're going to do 5 reps without letting the foot touch, all right? So lift, extend, and as I'm bringing it back, I'm thinking about driving the ankle up towards the ceiling, connecting to the groin muscles. I know going slow makes it harder, but it does make it more effective. So try to just relax, even though it's uncomfortable. Because I promise you, it's not comfortable for me right now either, but it's going to get your hips nice and strong to help loosen up that lower back. And 5. Okay, good. Okay, so for the back leg, same thing. We're going to lift the knee up, scoop the foot underneath, feel that big time in the hip flexors and in kind of the top of the butt cheek. 5 reps. Here we go. Squeeze the abs. We're going to lift the knee up, scoop the foot underneath, and then we're going down just until the knee touches the floor, and then we're coming right back up. And again, as you're doing this one, try to be aware of not letting your upper body move at all. So that's why that cue for squeezing the core is so important. It helps keep your upper body from moving. 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Okay, so we are going to stand up for the final movement of the circuit, and that'll be our first round of 3 total rounds. Okay, so this final movement is called the ATG split squat. It stands for ass to grass split squat. But this is a dynamic hip flexor lengthening and strengthening exercise. It's also really good to strengthen your knees and your ankles. Our hip flexors get really tight and short, so this is very effective for that. So you want to get into a pretty long stance. Your back heel is going to be off the floor, okay? So pivot it in. And then a lot of your weight's going to be on this front foot. Now with your back leg, it doesn't need to be perfectly straight, but you don't want to let the knee bend a lot because the more the knee bends, the more we lose the hip flexor stretch. So try to keep your knee as straight as you comfortably can. Squeeze that butt cheek. And then keeping that position, we're going to shift the weight forward as far as we can tolerate. You should feel a great stretch right here in the front of the hip. We're going to hold that for just a couple seconds and then drive back up. You may not be able to go as low as me yet, and that's totally okay. We're just going for a stretch here. So 4 more reps for a total of 5. Good, that's 2. If you find it's hard to balance, you can always hang on to something as well, like a chair. 3. I don't know if you heard that pop, but that was my knee. Again, pain-free popping is okay. 4. Last one. Holding this position just to make sure we get some good loading on the hip flexors. And 5. Okay. Woo. So we're just going to turn around, make that nice and easy. Again, make sure that back heel is facing the ceiling. Knee is as straight as you can tolerate. Back butt cheek is turned on. From here, we're going to go forward as we go down. We also want to try to keep the torso as upright as possible as well. The more we lean forward, the more we lose the stretch. And again, you can always balance on something, like I'm using my entertainment center here. 2. You may find you're a little tighter on one side than the other, like my left side is tighter. Totally okay. Just move within the range of motion that this side can do. 4. Last one. And 5. Excellent. Okay, so I hope even just with one round, you're feeling a little looser. Legs are probably feeling a little challenged. A lot of mobility takes a lot more than one session to notice the change because you are literally rewiring your brain and your nervous system to use your body differently. So the prescription is 3 total rounds of this circuit that we just did. You can rewind to the timestamp below to start your second and third round. Great job, and I'll see you next time. Also, if you are local to the Reno Sparks area, click the link in the description because I have a special offer just for you.